Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Bonfire. So Bonfire is a wonderful play game by Stefan Feld. It came out last year, 2020, and I really like it. If you've seen my top 10 for the last couple of months of games I've played, this is quite high within those lists. This is a Stefan Feld game. So if you have played other Stefan Feld games, there will be some similarities that you'll go, oh yeah, that feels comfortable. Not similarities in a bad way, but comfort feeling similarities. But it's a vastly different theme. So the idea is that you are dwarves trying to build a bonfire or something to that effect. It doesn't really matter too much, at least to me it doesn't matter too much what that theme is. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. There's like 5 or 6 options of things that can be done. But the way that you select those options is by putting a token into your home board. If you match symbols or pictures up, then you get 2 tokens for that symbol. So each of the pieces that you put in has 3 tokens on it. So you're at least getting 3 actions that you're going to be able to do. If you're able to link up one of those symbols to another one of the same symbol next to it, you get 2 of that. If you get 3 in a row or in a line, in a grouping, should I say, then you get 3 of them. That is really important to understand because a lot of the actions, you can play 1, 2, or 3 of the tokens to do that action. Some of the actions, when you get further into the game, you have to play 2 tokens on it rather than just 1. Some, if you play 1, you get to move 1 spot. If you play 2, you get to move 2 spots. If you play 3, you can move as many spots as you like. And that's really kind of the crunch of the game is, I'm stuck in this position. I need to get over there, but in order to get over there, I'm going to have to play 3 tokens. But I don't have 3 tokens. If I play 1, that will get me here, which will give me another token. I can then play, etc. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. Each area of the board does something totally different, but it all kind of speaks to itself because the end of the game, you're getting points for bonfires that you've managed to place onto your home board, and that comes from this area at the top of the board. So bonfires that are there that you've managed to achieve, so they've got a little ruling on them, say you've got this coloured guardian. Once you've got that coloured guardian, you can use your turn to flip that token over and release a dwarf to the main bonfire, which gives you an extra thing that you can do. You are trying to build a path all the way around to that bonfire. You're also trying to build a connecting path from the other end of your board. And so you're wanting them to cross over so that you can actually put your guardians, which are moving around that path, into the bonfire that you have turned over, because that's the way to get the points. If you haven't got those connections, you can't get the points. You're trying to get the same colored path as the bonfire piece that you've put in. There are 3 different colors. And so there's a heck of a lot of thought process on how do I get these things to score points for me? How do I get these all the way to the end? Because the stuff down on the right-hand end is worth 8 points, while the stuff on the left-hand end is only worth 1. And each thing is worth that bit more, that bit more. So the further around that track you can go, assuming that you're able to find a way to get the path all the way around, the higher the points are going to be able to potentially come to you. There's an awful lot of thinking with this game. The whole idea of having this stuff is you actually have to use it. The maximum number of pieces you can have left is 1 when you put another piece onto your board to get some more little tokens coming in. And that's actually a really, really tight game because what you end up with is you've got 3 actions that you can do because of the piece that you put on your board. The only piece available to is the piece at the top or the bottom of this track or this path. So you can see what's coming up, you can see what's in the middle, but the only ones available to you are at the top or bottom. And so you're making a choice as to, okay, I really want to do that action. How can I get that? Is that in the tiles that are available to me, or will that be available soon? If that's available soon, do I need to leave space on my board for that tile to go in to give me the best turnout of points or of tokens that can come in? Some of the options allow you to play a token, but then you have to play 2 resources of the same type. Or you can play 2 of the tokens and 1 resource. And so if you've got more of the tokens, it's easier for you to get these cards. You can only have a maximum of 7 of those cards. And this number of 7 things, once you get 7 of any of those things I've been talking about, you get to move a guy up to the bonfire, which gives you an extra set of points. I think it's 4 points. But that again gives you a bonus. You can put that guy onto a spot where you've previously placed one of your guys, because your places around this bonfire can only be taken once by each color. This neutral color is a color. And so by moving that up to the bonfire, it enables you to take the same thing a couple of times, unless someone else has already done that. The boat movement to get the tokens onto your bonfire to be turned over is tough, because there's like, it's almost half of the board is set for this kind of boat movement. And so you can move your boat to an island and then straight away spend a token to do a thing. There are 2 possible things depending on what type of island you get to. But the spending of those tokens to get the bonfire off the island, it's kind of like there's a lot of thought process necessary on it, because you're not only spending a action token to be able to do the action of taking a piece off the island, you also need to spend a resource of what is on the island. Plus you need to spend a resource of 2 other things that are face up on your board. And when you spend that, you then flick the thing over to show that you've done it. And there's so darn much going on with this. There's a lot to think about. And what happens is early in the game, you think that it's really hard to do anything. It's really hard to push forward. I'm never going to make it. As you get towards the end of the game, you start seeing that you're actually filling up an area, and you kind of push more for that area to fill it up completely, because that's going to get you better points or more points once it's full. And if you watch my gameplay, you'll see that it is possible. Now, admittedly, I played the first part and then jumped to the end. But if you actually look at the boards of the winning player, the winning board, he's actually filled up a heck of a lot of that board. He's done a lot of stuff that seems early game like it's a really hard thing to do. I think that's where the essence of the Stefan Feld games comes in, is a lot of stuff seems really hard. But when you start doing the stuff, it suddenly becomes done, I guess is the right way to say it. So you're kind of sitting there early game going, how will I ever get 7 of these things out? How will I ever be able to do that enough times to be able to get all of the elements onto my board? But somehow you manage to get there. Somehow you manage to manipulate your way through the game, because there's enough of that little manipulation of small things, like moving a guy up onto the board to be able to enable you to do an action again. That little extra action can push you forward to be able to finish off some of the other things that you're trying to do. The movement of your, I think they call them guardians, the movement of your guardians. If you play 1 token, it pushes your guardian forward 1 thing, which gives you a resource. If you have 2 guardians sitting down here, you can push them both forward 1 thing. They can only stand 1 per space, but if one of them's onto the board already, he moves forward, gets the resource, then the next one moves forward and gets that resource. You can get some cards that enable you to get double the resource, or enable you to get some extra gold. There's a lot of stuff going on that helps you, that you don't necessarily see is going on, or you don't necessarily see as, oh, that's going to be a benefit to me. There's a lot of stuff that seems beneficial early game because it's going to give ongoing benefit. But if you take that same element later in the game, it doesn't give you anywhere near as much benefit, because all the stuff that you could have done with it has already been done. And so with this game, there's a real push-pull on, oh, do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? Do I need to do that? Oh, that's a really important thing for me to do. There's so much stuff there. So, look, I think that that's probably enough. Have a look at my Gamesplanation and see what you think of the game. Please, if you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be gamesplained, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.